I'll share this because I think I see it in a lot of other guys, but I'm reminded of this as we're talking of just in my own journey is just self-rejection. 'Cause I really appreciate what you were saying about just this labeling all these actions and this porn is bad and dirty. Actually, it's a self-reflection. What's happening. And the stuff that comes out of us onto others is often so often a reflection of myself. And so I'll share this, self-rejection. Okay. So, I think you might know this story, Joe, but just when Teresa and I went on the Camino, 9 of us walking the Camino over in Spain. It was 5 months into our dating relationship. We were dating, went on it with 7 other people over to Spain to walk the Camino for 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks. And right before we were about to get on the plane, I got to this place where I'd gotten the 2 previous decently solid Christian women. They were great Christian women, actually. No, I've had 3 solid relationships as I've been following Christ, and praise God, the 3rd one, I'm married to her. But I saw there was actually a pattern to these 3. And 5 months in, I didn't realize this, but 5 months in, I won out. I started becoming hypercritical of Teresa. I'm poking holes at all the things I used to like about her. I'm annoyed of her. I want to be around anyone but her. We got a plane to catch the next day to go to Spain. So we get on the plane to Spain. I can't hide it. All of my stuff's coming out. It's so obvious. I'm just living in my stuff. And she's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea what's happening. Once we landed in Spain, we talked, and my proposal was that we basically walk the Camino as brother and sister, is I think what I said, which she's like, great. That's what every woman wants to hear when you packed 2 pairs of clothes to walk for 3 weeks and no makeup, and your boyfriend of 5 months says, let's just walk as brother and sister and we'll figure it out at the end. 12 days into the Camino, I'm just at a rock bottom. I don't want to be around any of my group. I'm super annoyed of everyone. There was, quote, freedom to do whatever you wanted. You could stay back if you wanted. You could go ahead if you wanted. You didn't have to eat together. No, there was not freedom. We had to do everything together. And I just didn't want to be around anybody. I'm just like, all of my stuff's coming up. I'm talking about emotional regulation. I was all over the place. Just in my own body. I just didn't want to be in my own body. I wanted to numb. I wanted to medicate. And 12 days in, I decided to stay back, but I got to the next town about an hour or 2 after everybody else, and I'm like, I don't want to be around anyone. I'm going to go get my drug. And I got some whiskey, because that helps me emotionally regulate. The thing is our drugs work.
That's right.
Porn works. It helps me emotionally regulate. We got to acknowledge that.
Yep.
Because our drugs work, otherwise we wouldn't do it. They're counterfeit,
yep.
And once they wear off, it comes back worse, right? The inability to emotionally regulate. The things that I was numbing, they're going to come back. We know that. They work. And so I went and got some whiskey, put it in a Coke Zero bottle. I started drinking, and we're at the hostel after dinner, and we're playing cribbage, and I'm sitting there across from Teresa, and I stretch, and we're having fun. I'm having a great time. I'm emotionally regulated through alcohol, and I'm present. I'm present, but I'm pretty tipsy. And I take a deep breath and I blow out, and she looks at me and she goes, have you been drinking? And I think, finally, typically, so I quote, don't drink. And this is probably the 3rd time that it came up in our relationship. The first 2, every time, both shame, deep shame comes up. I'm caught. I'm like, it's in my face, shame. But this time I kind of capped the shame with anger. I just and I was like, yep. And she's like, well, her reaction was, that's not a Nick response. That was weird. And I was like, yeah, I have. My thought was, F it. Finally, I know I'm a piece of shit. Now you know I'm a piece of shit.
That's right.
Now we can call this off. I'm done. And I was thinking that. I said, yes, I have. She didn't know how to respond to that. And so we talked, and Mass was in 10 minutes. She's like, okay, I got to go to Mass. It was very, we did not have closure. She went to Mass. Everyone else went to Mass. I go upstairs, and I look at porn and I masturbate. because that's going to help more. And I go and I just keep numbing, and I wake up the next day before everyone else, and I get up and I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I do? And I pull out my journal and I just write down, like, I feel like an effing little boy that got caught. And I just start going like, what is going on? I just start writing all this stuff out, like what is, and just like all these emotions I'm experiencing, these thoughts I'm having. And that day I didn't talk to anybody, at least none of our group.